That tastes like a combination of raspberries, small insects, and dog pee. Let's talk about nipples. Right, let's go. Hey, it's me about a week after I shot the video that you just started to watch, and I now know why that video ended the way it did, and I'll explain that at the end of the video. So anyway, back to it. In this video, I'm going to tell you about the time that about 1 million people watched me bleed. First of all, let's talk about this heat. It's so warm today. It hit, what it hit, 28, no, actually hit 30 degrees Celsius in Northern Ireland. That's why I'm out running now, 8 p.m, where the sun is low and I'm going to be able to run in the shade. Now, if you're from a hot country, you might think 30 degrees Celsius, that's not warm. That's a spring day here. Well, the fact is, 10 degrees Celsius, okay? 10 degrees Celsius, which is just 10 degrees above freezing. That is when we start wearing shorts and t-shirts here, right? 10 degrees Celsius and up, it's warm enough. Shorts, t-shirts. This is now 3 times the same temperature at which we start washing shorts and t-shirt. Maybe that gives you an idea of how much warmer that feels. We're just not used to the heat at all. And I suppose the flip side of that is we can always spot tourists because they're the ones, while we're out in shorts and t-shirts, they look like they're dressed like scale Everest and puffy jackets on. They always look cold. So yeah, it's weird how, depending where you live in the world, you'll acclimatise to temperatures differently. Because it's so warm, I wanted to stay as cool as possible. I've got no race pack on me, I've got no race belt. I don't even brought a hat with me because I want to keep my head cool. I'm not even carrying a bottle. So what I'm doing is there's about 3 miles around this side of the forest. Then I'll go back to my van, have a drink, head back out again, and then there's another hill over on that side, which is about another 3 miles. So hopefully do at least 6 miles. This purple flower, see over here? It's quite common in places like this, forest plantations. That's known as fireweed. It is over there. And fireweed grows in places where the ground has been disturbed, and also quite often in ground that's been burned. But what a lot of people don't know is you can actually eat it when it's young. The shoots, I've had them, they taste like asparagus. And ooh, speaking of free wilderness food, look, raspberries. Oh yes. Oh, look, it's a raspberry beret. Ooh, I have not been up here in a while. There's nettles are not here. Ugh. Ow! Well, that's me stung. This path that I'm on now, this is my favourite little semi-secret trail around this forest. I like this part of the forest. It's got a mix of trees. It's not just the Sitka spruce plantation trees of the rest of the forest. So, by the way, if this is your first time here, hi, I'm Stephen, or Steve, or Stevo, or Stevie, or Stephen, or whatever you want to call me. And this is my second channel. This is my casual running channel. I've got a main outdoors channel, so if you like outdoors adventure things, you can go have a look at my main channel. But on this channel, I'm documenting my running, and specifically at the minute, that heat, I can't even breathe in that heat. Why am I so... Oh. This was not the time to be taking a shortcut through here. So, I'm currently training for a mountain race in September, and I'm documenting my progress on this channel. And as you can see, progress has not been fantastic. Okay, you came here for a story about blood. I will tell you the story about blood, right? So every year for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been promoting a half marathon. As I promote other races, occasionally race organisers pay me to turn up and do like an official race vlog. But I only really promote one road event every year because I'm mostly trail, and that is the Antrim Coast Half Marathon. And I'm always happy to do it because, well, I get paid to do it, so that helps. But also, I think it's a fantastic route. It is such a just beautiful location along the Antrim Coast Road. As part of that, what I actually do is I normally join one of the pacing groups, usually the 2-hour pacing group. And running as a pacer for the first time kind of changed how I feel about running in ways, because I suddenly realised it's so much more rewarding to help other people reach their goals than it is to reach their own goals. Because for me, after 15 years of running, I don't care anymore. I'm not really competitive about times. I mean, there might be certain events or distances I want to complete, but as for the time to complete it in or at a certain pace, I just don't care anymore. Once we get to within the last maybe 3 miles, we'll split up. There's 3 pacers. One of the pacers, by the way, for the past several years has been Team GB Olympian Joe Pavey, who's really nice and runs a running club for over 40s. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, the 3 pacers will split up. One of them, the faster one, that's usually Joe, she'll go on ahead, because sometimes in the last 3 miles people will feel, even if it's the first half marathon, they might feel really good. They'll have trained harder, but they'll have gone out at a slower pace than actually they're capable of in that last 3 miles. So they still feel good. They'll go off the faster pacer, and then one sits in the middle, and then there'll be someone will kind of, you know, hang at the back if anybody's, you know, looking like they're going to drop out, and try and keep them going. But what I've been doing is, when I get to the finish line, I don't cross the line straight away. I run with whatever grip I'm with. I check my time, because usually I'll be aiming to get them to the finish line, not for 2 hours, but for 1 hour and say 57 minutes or 58 minutes. I always want that margin of error. Once that grips over the line, I'll then stop and I'll run back down the line, trying to encourage people to, you know, come on, to get their 2 hour time if they just hurry up a little bit. And this is a really rambling story about me bleeding in front of 1 million people. The very first year, no, maybe the second year that they organised the pacing, the organisers made a bit of a mistake. They got t-shirts for the pacers, but they didn't get athletic t-shirts for the pacers. They got cotton t-shirts for the pacers with 2 hours on it, and cotton chafes a lot. So, and I went out and ran, and about mile 6 I could tell I was in trouble. I was starting to get a burning sensation on my chest, on 2 sides of my chest, on 2 sensitive points in my chest. My nipples were chafing. I remembered back to about 7 or 8 years previous, when something similar happened to me when I was running the Belfast Marathon, and I ended up bleeding. So I knew the misery I was in for. Now, what made it worse was the colour of the t-shirt, because it was bright yellow. I haven't had more than about 4 to 5 hours sleep for the last several nights with the heat. It's not been great. My sleep is terrible in summer. The light wakes me at 4 a.m. and the heat keeps me up half the night. And last night, in order to try and beat the heat, didn't go to bed until way after 1 a.m. because basically as soon as the sun went down at 10, opened all the doors and windows in the house to try and cool the place down. My sleep's been terrible. Right, back to the story. Let's talk about nipples. You weren't expecting that phrase. This is going to get this video demonetized or something. Nipples weren't something I'd previously been concerned about while running. But when you combine flesh with t-shirt, that when every time you take a step, it's bouncing up and down a little bit. Basically, nobody warned me that over a long run on a hot, sweaty day, your t-shirt can turn into sandpaper, which can literally sand off the tips of your chest. Nobody warned me about this. No one warned me. So I started out that half marathon ready to run 2 hours on a hot, sunny, sweaty day, wearing an abrasive cotton t-shirt. I think I was about maybe 3 miles in when I suddenly realised, oh, I forgot the tape. Because I have been taping, a little square of strategically placed tape. I have been taping for several years because of that first incident, but on this occasion, I forgot. So I had concerns at mile 3, and by mile 6. By mile 6, I knew I was in trouble. I knew I was in serious trouble. Now, the thing is, with nipple chafing, severe nipple chafing, which seems to be more concern, seems to happen to men more during races. I suppose women tend to be wearing better support. The thing with it is, when it's actually happening, it doesn't hurt as much as it will later. It's kind of, it's a bit stingy, it's a bit, a bit stingy, a bit painful, but after a while, your body kind of, numbs out the pain as you walk along while sanding the top few layers of skin off your flesh points. So, by mile 10, blood was starting to appear on both sides. I looked like I'd been shot twice. By the time I got to the finish line, there was blood from here to here, 2 red streaks down the front of my yellow t-shirt, and that was seen by thousands and thousands of people along the route. I got to the finish line and I did my usual, I ran back and forth and I was encouraging people. In fact, here's a video of that happening. Come on! 2 hours, go, go, go! Push, it's literally there, I can see it! Am I bleeding? Ah! Go, go, go! I'm bleeding from my nipples, you can do this. 60 seconds for a 2 hour chip time, go! Oh, I made a terrible mistake. I published that video on all my social media channels and it went nuts. About over 800,000 views just on TikTok, and once you added them up, more free raspberries. And once you added them up over all platforms, over 1 million people saw me running, yelling while bleeding profusely from both my nipples. The video was so popular, I was contacted by email. If you ever watch a TV show that has, like a viral video on it, that tends to have been provided by a third party who kind of aggregates those and then negotiates like a price on behalf of the person that captured it. I was contacted by one of those companies who thought, these berries, who thought that, oh, tiny bilberry, who thought that possibly a TV show might at some point want to show the clip. They never did. I never made a penny from it. But yeah, here's the most frustrating thing. For I think at least 2 years, that was the most viewed video that I ever made in my life. For I think about 2 years. It wasn't until I spent months making that documentary about the blue-green algae crisis in Loch Ness that was finally overturned. Like 1 million views. Prior to that, I think the most I ever got on a piece of content was maybe 150,000, something like that. So I beat that by about 7 times. So I wasn't quite sure how to feel about it. Can't say I was proud, but there was something nice about having had a piece of content viewed that much. But then it was also a humiliating piece of content. So that is the story of how over 1 million people actually watched me bleeding while I was running. Oh, I gotta be honest about something. I'm not really enjoying this run. I'm really not. I just feel like I really can't be bothered doing this run this evening. Maybe it's because I brought the camera with me and I'm talking too much, I don't know, but I'm just not feeling it. I know, more raspberries. Raspberries look a little bit like what we've been talking about. I feel like I want to stop, walk, and go home and sleep. I think I'm probably going to cut this run short. I'm just not feeling it. I feel a bit woozy actually. It's a little bit woozy. I don't know, maybe a combination of the heat and lack of sleep. But I'm just going to listen to what my body's telling me and cut this one short. But it still helps because I wasn't going to go out and do anything today. When I saw the forecast, I thought, no, it's too warm. I can't run. So I've still done something. I think that's important. And I'm not going to beat myself up about that. It's better to have done, you know, gone out and done a little bit than do absolutely nothing. So, yeah. It's just been a week after I shot that video, and what I didn't realise when I was making that video, that I was feeling fatigued and tired and horrible for a very good reason. And that very good reason was that I was developing a chest infection and hadn't realised it. And I've now had a chest infection for about a week. Still here, I'm still not over it. I've still got tightness in my lungs. I'm still coughing stuff up. I'm out at the minute trying to run a really, really slow 3K. So it's really put my training back, but I'm actually nearly glad, because after I finished that run, I was mad at myself for the next day or two until the chest infection like really fully kicked in. Sore throat, headache, sweats, a bit of fever, cough and gunk up, pretty nasty stuff. And then I realised, okay, it wasn't because I've been training sucked, and it wasn't because I was just being lazy. I was actually sick. So this is going to set me back a bit, but we're just going to have to wait and see how it affects me long term. But I'm currently in Donegal. I'm on holiday, and I'm out just putting a bit of time on feet. Very slow jog, trying to get back and not lose too much fitness while I'm fighting this thing.